Let's begin with the foundations. Welcome to another lecture. I am Professor Alexei. Today we will examine the career arc and cultural resonance of DiJonai Carrington, a contemporary figure in women's basketball whose trajectory, to some extent, exemplifies how opportunity, preparation, and public discourse intersect in modern sport.
Hello, I'm Priyanka. I'm Professor Alexei's teaching assistant, and I'm excited to dig into this story because it blends performance, identity, and how fans follow athletes across different leagues.
To frame our discussion in layperson terms, DiJonai Carrington is an American professional basketball player recognized for energetic physical play that influences both offense and defense. Think of a rising researcher in a competitive field who first co-authors small papers, then in one decisive year leads major projects and wins awards. That visible inflection point announces she is no longer merely promising, but reliably impactful.
So, basically, she became the kind of two-way contributor who changes games on both ends. The scouting language would say she can pressure the ball, read passing lanes, rebound her position, and still score enough to tilt outcomes.
In more technical terms, we observe a wing whose defensive metrics and role versatility align with elite recognition. She won the WNBA's Most Improved Player in 2024 and made the All-Defensive First Team the same week. MIP, of course, denotes the league's judgment of the steepest positive trajectory year over year, while All-Defensive status situates her among the premier perimeter stoppers. Mathematically, the 2024 season yielded career highs in minutes, points, rebounds, and steals, which coheres with the eye test of a full-time starter whose usage and responsibilities increased markedly.
And just to keep terms clear, Most Improved Player means the biggest year-over-year leap, and All-Defensive Team means top-tier defenders by position. That's the formal language the league uses.
Moving forward, why does this matter? In the real world, understanding athlete development shows how training, role clarity, and context generate value. And in parallel, how public identity and discussion on social platforms can amplify or complicate that value. Historically, women's sports, basketball included, have been undervalued relative to the quality of play and strategic richness. Yet, as we see with Carrington's awards, trades, endorsements, and appearances in alternative leagues, the marketplace is recalibrating, arguably at an accelerated pace.
I think the shift is visible in how quickly a breakout season can lead to brand deals and new roles. And it also makes fans pay attention to defense, which is nice, because defense is usually underrated. Some basic facts to anchor us. She was born on January 8, 1998. A McDonald's All-American, and a Jordan Brand Classic All-American in high school. At Stanford, she earned 3 undergraduate degrees, psychology, African studies, and African American studies, while helping win Pac-12 tournament titles in 2017 and 2019, and making all Pac-12 in 2019. Then she grad transferred to Baylor, averaging 14.1 points and 4.9 rebounds, and won Big 12 Newcomer of the Year and 6th Person of the Year.
Let's proceed to the next point, the professional phase. Drafted 20th overall by the Connecticut Sun in 2021, she earned a roster spot out of training camp. Early roles were limited, which is typical, but 2022 showed growth and valuable playoff minutes. In Athletes Unlimited's inaugural 2022 season, she scored in double figures in all 15 games, and made the inaugural All-Defensive Team. That cross-format consistency matters. In 2023, her perimeter efficiency improved, and then 2024 became the signature leap. 39 starts in 39 games, 12.7 points, 5.0 rebounds, and 1.6 steals per game. She won Most Improved Player in late September, and made the All-Defensive First Team shortly thereafter. She elevated again in the 2024 postseason with 13.7 points and strong rebounding in heavy minutes. This logically leads us to a dynamic 2025. On February 2nd, she was traded to the Dallas Wings, in a move initially reported as a bilateral exchange, but ultimately logged as part of a four-team trade. And such complexity is unsurprising when multiple assets are synchronized. In Dallas, she averaged 10.4 points, with 5.1 rebounds in 20 games, starting most of them. On August 3rd, she was traded to the Minnesota Lynx, where her efficiency ticked up, including .455 from three across 11 games. A September foot injury, however, curtailed the playoffs, and as we will discuss, altered the subsequent timeline.
And there were off-season platforms too. She had been announced for Unrivaled in late 2024 and played for the Mist in 2025. She also became the second Reebok-endorsed WNBA player in 2025, after Angel Reese. Then, in 2026, she signed a one-year deal with the Chicago Sky. She missed the first 27 games while recovering, returned on July 30th, and scored 9 points in 17 minutes against her former team, the Sun.
As we continue, we must note a contested moment. On August 8, 2026, she was ejected in the first quarter versus the Indiana Fever for a flagrant 2 on Sophie Cunningham. Cunningham's immediate shove drew no penalty. Afterward, Carrington posted the phrase "white privilege" and tagged the opposing team. The fairness of officiating and post-incident handling is debated. Here we simply register that the episode became a national talking point beyond basketball tactics. Before we get to the complexities, a brief personal note. I am perennially interested in how one balances rigorous academics with elite performance. Triple majors at Stanford while competing at that level mirror, in miniature, the combinatorial scheduling puzzles we set our graduate students. In simpler terms, time management is a defense. It prevents easy baskets by chaos.
So, I guess we can start by thinking about three big questions that tie performance and context together. Professor, what enabled Carrington to transform her career so significantly in 2024?
It's important to understand that improvement is rarely spontaneous. It is the visible sum of compounding. In 2022, she accrued professional reps, including Athletes Unlimited, which rewards assertiveness and adaptability. In 2023, the three-point percentage rose, a signal that the shooting base was stabilizing. In 2024, the Sun conferred role clarity, 39 starts and nearly 30 minutes per game. And with stable minutes, we often see sharper decision-making and better conditioning translated into possessions. Add a system that leverages physicality on the wing, plus the psychological tailwind of being trusted at the opening tip. The outputs, 12.7 points, 5.0 rebounds, 1.6 steals, are precisely the profile of a modern two-way wing who converts defensive chaos into offense, and awards followed accordingly.
Professor Alexei, could you clarify what role her defensive skills played in this transformation?
Defense was the engine. She was named to Athletes Unlimited's inaugural All-Defensive Team in 2022 and to the WNBA All-Defensive First Team in 2024. That cross-context recognition indicates translatable skills, lateral quickness, hand activity, anticipatory angles, and the willingness to absorb contact. Practically, 1.6 steals per game in 2024 equates to additional team possessions. When a starter generates live ball turnovers, it produces runouts and mismatches, which in turn raise both efficiency and perceived value. Thus, defense did not merely complement the offense, it unlocked it.
Building on that, Professor, what if Carrington had not suffered her 2025 foot injury? How might her career have differed?
Counterfactuals are delicate, but we can bound them. In Minnesota, across 11 regular season games, her field goal percentage was .485 and her three-point percentage .455. Paired with 1.2 steals in 16.6 minutes, that's an efficiency plus disruption profile reputable in playoff rotations. Without the foot injury, the Lynx likely deploy her as a switchable wing in late-game units, which could affect series outcomes at the margin. Even a single extra stop or transition basket can swing a game. Downstream, free agency in 2026 might have reflected that momentum, perhaps greater leverage for multi-year commitments or elevated roles. Instead, the injury truncated the audition window, delayed her 2026 debut until late July, and imposed uncertainty that front offices must price into offers.
Professor, could you explain how this injury affected her market value?
Naturally, availability is a variable in any valuation model. The 2025 foot injury reduced postseason tape, limited 2026 availability through the first 27 games, and foreclosed participation in the 2026 unrivaled season. Each of these removes data from the sample. Teams discount for uncertainty. Thus, a one-year contract with Chicago in April 2026 reads as a prudent bridge for both sides. She reestablishes rhythm and reliability, and the team manages risk. Endorsement momentum had already arrived with Reebok in 2025, but on-court market value, strictly speaking, is a function of production multiplied by confidence in health.
To shift gears a bit, Professor, what are the implications of Carrington's social media presence on her public perception?
In this context, we confront the modern athlete's double exposure: performance metrics and discourse metrics. The August 8, 2026 post invoking white privilege after her ejection catalyzed polarized debate about officiating, race, and accountability. Such moments can alter the narrative frame through which subsequent games are interpreted. Earlier, in March 2025, she stated on a podcast, "I'm not even like into girls. I'm not gay," which, juxtaposed with prior public curiosity about dating history, further illustrates how identity discourse overlays sport. The net effect is complex. Visibility expands, but attention can migrate from tactics to semiotics. For teams and athletes, the challenge is to integrate principled speech with performance focus.
Professor Alexei, what does this mean for athletes' roles in social issues?
Arguably, it means athletes are interlocutors in public ethics, whether they seek that status or not. We can infer that posts and interviews function as agenda-setting devices. They seed media cycles that influence fan sentiment and sponsor calculus. A specific area for further research would be to map sentiment trajectories before and after flashpoints, say the August 2026 ejection, and then correlate them with broadcast mentions and subsequent community engagement. Theoretically, this yields a model for how athletic labor intersects with cultural labor in women's sports, where players have often been at the forefront of social advocacy. To summarize, DiJonai Carrington is a modern two-way wing whose 2024 season, 39 starts, 12.7 points, 5.0 rebounds, 1.6 steals, earned Most Improved Player and All Defensive First Team honors. Her path includes elite high school accolades, rigorous multi-degree study at Stanford, a productive Baylor tenure, and professional adaptability across the sun, wings, links, and sky. Our three guiding questions considered how the 2024 transformation occurred, how the 2025 foot injury altered plausible trajectories, and how social media moments shape public perception.
Maybe that's something we can come back to later. especially the broader impact of women athletes on cultural narratives across leagues like the WNBA, Athletes Unlimited, and Unrivaled.
In conclusion, I encourage you to explore these themes further. Follow the arcs across seasons, trades, and conversations to see how performance and perception co-evolve.
Thank you, Professor. Goodbye, everyone.